I'm excited to do this video, but also slightly terrified at the same time. Welcome back. Today's video is going to be all about the new I Need a Nude palette from Natasha Denona, and today's video is going to be really focused on each of the individual shades inside this palette, swatches, and also eye swatches. I will be doing eye swatches of all 15 shades in this palette. So I have asked around to my community, what would you find the most helpful with this eyeshadow palette? And to me, the answer that I kept getting was people had a lot of questions on what the shades actually looked like. They were saying they looked different in some photos and they couldn't quite tell exactly what the shades were looking like from this palette. And I know sometimes with marketing photos and that sort of thing, it can be a little bit difficult to get an exact feel for it. So once I kept seeing that answer over and over again, I thought, how can I best deliver you what these shadows actually look like? And I figure instead of just doing one look, two looks, even three looks, we're just gonna focus on swatching all of these shadows inside this palette. And then I will also be putting them on my eyes, because I do sometimes think a shadow swatch on the hand, the wrist, the arm can differ a little bit from what it actually looks like on the eye and that sort of thing. So that is what we're going to be jumping into today. I did purchase the I Need a Nude palette myself. I'm an affiliate with Natasha Denona, but they just started their program and they don't seem to send up PR. So I did purchase the palette myself. I have a discount code with them, which is Samantha, for 15% off. So I, of course, will have that linked down below. And I like to start my videos with an outfit of the day. I'm just wearing a sports bra because this video, I mean, I'm wearing shorts too, like in case you weren't actually watching the video and you were like, what, she ain't got no pants on? I just feel like this video is going to be a little bit of a workout for me. I don't do eye swatching videos a ton, mostly because I have extremely sensitive eyes. So, you know, putting on a shadow and wiping it off and putting it on and wiping it off, it's gonna be something for me. But I felt with the response I was getting that this was gonna be the most helpful. So I of course hope that you will find this helpful. But to jump into the palette, so the I Need a Nude from Natasha Denona, this is one of her midi-sized palettes, so it's $15 and retails for, no, it has 15 shades and it retails for $69. You do have a large mirror here. It's available on the Natasha Denona website, which is where I have my discount code with. It's also available at Sephora, Ulta, and I believe also Beautylish. So again, I will have all of those links down below. This was a palette I was extremely interested in when I saw it. Not only do I love the Natasha Denona formula, I own several of her eyeshadow palettes. I love the formula. I'm always raving about it. But I also really gravitate towards the midi size. I just feel like this is such a perfect size for an eyeshadow palette. And I also love nudes. I love neutrals. When I saw this, I was instantly sold. And then I saw some of the swatches. There's some interesting formulas in this palette, and again, I just knew I had to pick it up. From the website, it says this is a cool toned color story featuring 15 new enchanting muted rosy and nude shades. Alongside Natasha's iconic formula, this palette debuts a brand new wet effect sparkling and glossy finish formula, illuminating any eyeshadow look with an ethereal touch of glistening sparkle. So the palette does have 2 high shine metallic shades, 7 buttery soft mattes, 3 captivating sparkle foiled finishes, and complemented by 3 eyeshadows in that new wet effect formula. This palette is also cruelty free, paraben free, mineral oil free, and made in Italy. Right, first up, we are going to be swatching the shade Stone. This is described as a matte light medium warm taupe. So here is Stone. Kind of reminds me of my sports bra that I'm wearing right now. Shade, I love me a taupe. I also love the Natasha Denona matte formula. I feel like it's super smooth, very easy to blend. For my eyeshadow preferences, I like to say that I don't have the most amount of patience. I want a shadow that will blend easily, but I don't want something that's too pigmented to where I find it harder to blend out, kind of like a pressed pigment. And I just feel like Natasha's formula, especially for those mattes, is just like my sweet spot. All right, so here is the shade Stone on my eyes. I'm gonna add in a little bit more here. Typically for a matte, I would build this up a few times, like if I was using this in my crease, but I will also share with you each time that I'm going to build it up more. I think I wanna do one more pass with the Stone shade, but beautiful matte. This would be another one of those shades that I would just put all over my lid and leave like so. I am gonna take a blending brush and blend out my edges a little bit. That's typically how I would probably use this shade. So again, just gonna kind of try to give you how I would use each shadow as well. And then again, I'm just gonna try to give you like as much info as I can. I am gonna take my blending brush and pick up a little bit of it too, and just kind of work it all over the lid. This is essentially how I would use this more like taupe matte shade, and I'll kind of like blend it out over here. Again, I do a lot of 1, 2, 3 eyeshadow looks. Like this I think would be super pretty. Maybe a little bit of shimmer, maybe just some liner and mascara is how I would use this shade. I did notice a little bit of fallout over here, which to me is a little bit unusual for a matte shade, especially in Natasha's formula. So I just wanted to point that out. I will also say I've started using a new retinol, and I have extremely dry eyelids right now. Like I have a little bit of dry everything, but I definitely have dry eyelids. So could also be like my eyelids literally flaking, but that's fine. It's the joy of when we start up a retinol routine again. Here is the shade Stone. Good start. Good solid start. In case I come across any shades that I feel like remind me of something else, I want to show you some of those as well. So Natasha just released her mini Starlit palette, and we have this really beautiful taupe shade in here as well. So I'm just gonna do a quick comparison so we can see. Okay, so I'm gonna confuse myself. So this shade here is from the mini Starlit, and this one is from the I Need a Nude. I feel like they look pretty similar to one another. When I was putting it on my eye, I was like, oh, this kind of immediately reminds me of the mini Starlit. So I do feel like these two are going to be pretty similar to one another. Next up, we're gonna swatch the shade Whisper. Tell me why I decided to do my laundry right before sitting down and film this video also. Because I live in an apartment, you might be able to hear it. But Whisper is described as a metallic light nude pink. All right, here is the shade Whisper. Very beautiful, metallic-y. Okay, build it up just a little bit more. That's really stunning. This isn't the wet effect formula, but honestly, like one of my first thoughts was, it looks wet. Let's go ahead and get this on the eyes. I'm first just gonna use my finger to apply it. I do like to use my fingers when it comes to applying shimmer shades. I feel like sometimes the warmth of the finger can help give it like a little bit more oomph, if you will. So I'm just building it up a couple of times here. I will say I feel like the shade that I did on my hand has, to me, it has more like than the shade on my eye, but I am also going to use a shader brush and add this as well to see what we get. I do think that it's a very pretty shade. I will also say for something like this, I'm typically not going to do just this shadow on its own. Typically, like this is something that I would layer on top of a shade like Stone or something like that. Hit it in like the middle part of my eye, the inner part, brow bone, corner, all of those things. But just to be able to give you what each shadow looks like on its own. So here is Whisper. Video is also going to be brought to you by the Essence Remove Like a Boss eye makeup remover and my little like Skin Proud thing, because I'm going to be using these a whole lot. Next up, we are swatching the shade Ella. This is described as a sparkling foiled warm fawn. Super curious. Okay, it feels nice and smooth. Super curious to get, oh my, oh, okay, I hope you're not watching this at work. Put your headphones in if you're watching this video in public. I can't. Okay. How stunning. That's not even funny. So stop, that's not even funny. That's beautiful. Okay, well, let's see what she looks like on the eye. And this is the shade Ella. Oh my gosh, beautiful. Super smooth. It just instantly was like, bam, there I am. Okay, I know we're only 3 shades in, and I do love that first matte. Out of the mini Starlit, I have been going into those mattes so much, but this, can you even? That's stunning. And again, I'm just applying with my finger. Gorgeous. 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 Like, okay, I don't even, we got it, right? Do you need more commentary? on the shade. Do I need to act like I'm in an Herbal Essences shampoo commercial? Stunning. Stunning. Next up, we are going to swatch the shade Vague. I almost said Vogue. Vague. Vague is described as a matte, medium, warm, dusty rose. Literally, just those words just get me so excited. You know, what are some words that get you excited? For me, it's like nachos, s'mores, dusty rose, taupe eyeshadow shade. You know, like just really the regular things that people get excited to hear. It's almost football season. Here is Vague. Beautiful. This combo together, I don't even feel like I need to build it up. Okay, I will just a little bit just to show you. That's stunning. Like Natasha's matte formula. So I don't even know what to say. Beautiful. Okay, let me get this one on my eyes. So couldn't have like worse timing. Not only am I using retinol, which I don't use retinol on my eyes, but I just feel like it just happens when I'm using retinol. Like everything gets kind of like dry and a little flaky in the beginning. But I do also have an event tonight that is like heavily photographed and videoed. It's fine. I'm literally about to text my friends and be like, I decided to do a 15 swatch eye swatching video. So if it looks like my eyes are swollen and crying, nobody panic. Just doing my job. So building this up, I've come in 2 times with this matte shade on my eyes. I am also gonna come in with the brush, but this is beautiful. Again, very smooth. Like if you wanted to, you literally could apply Natasha's mattes with your fingers. You just could. This video is also being brought to you by my Sigma Switch. Just one of my favorite products for when you're doing a video like this. Just bam, 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 bam. Cleans off all the pigment. Love it. It is not a reason to get out of cleaning your makeup brushes, but it sure helps. Okay, so I'm just taking that brush. This is from Rephr. It's the 15. And I am going to just build it up a little bit more, kind of blend it out. Again, just like how I would do a regular matte shade. I think after this video, I will do an actual eye look as well. That's what my plan is. And I'll have it as like a YouTube short or over on my Instagram, which is March Beauty Word, or TikTok by Samantha March. All the places that we have to post all the things. Ooh, but again, I just thought this would be a little bit more helpful than 2 or 3 looks, and because I don't do the most like out there looks, you know what I'm saying? Like my looks are very like quite simple and basic, so I know so many of you are too, which I love this for us. But for those of you who aren't but still want to get an idea of the shades, I'm just trying to be helpful. But here is Vague. Super beautiful. I love this kind of I love that Stone and Vague are in here, like the taupe, the dusty rose. Again, like someone asked me who I would want to collab with recently, and I was saying Natasha Denona, but I was like, she's already gone into my brain and done so many things that I love. Like I don't even know what I would bring to the table. Like what would I be presenting? It would just be like literally like a mishmash of 5 of her palettes put into one. Next up, we are swatching Travertine. Travertine. This is described as a metallic soft amber. Okay, so here is Travertine, beautiful as well. But this one looks very stunning as well. I'm just adding this one on. I feel like maybe with the metallic formula from Natasha, these are gonna be better as like the topper shades. Again, I wouldn't really think to do a shade like this on its own, just to give those ideas. So that is with my finger, and then I'm also going to come in with the brush. Okay, adding Travertine with the brush as well. It's my second pass here, and I'm gonna do one more. I think that built up really nicely with the brush. I feel like it has a little bit more oomph than the, was it Whisper shade? But here is Travertine, a nice amber metallic. I'm really excited to swatch Delilah. This is described as a sparkling wet effect silver brown. Sparkling wet, oh yes, okay, yes, it feels nice. Feels nice. Okay, here is, there's Delilah. Whoo! That's beautiful. I'm gonna build it up one more time. Oh, I like the little like, almost like pinpoints of sparkle in here. Whoa, that's super beautiful. My dog just let out a big sigh. Okay, she doesn't find it as beautiful as me. I think she's just annoyed because one thing, I'm trying to also wash my hands frequently because the eye makeup remover is oil-based, and honestly just swatching things with like wet fingers or oil on them can cause hard pan. So I'm trying to like be very aware of continually washing and drying my hands after I'm like wiping off the swatches. But look at that one. That's stunning. Again, this is something that I could wear on its own. I think this would be really beautiful with either stone or vague underneath and then putting this on top. Ooh, I built this up twice and honestly, like, stunning. Like stunning. I don't even feel like I need to use a brush. I mean, it's just beautiful. Are you joking? It's just beautiful. I know we've only made it through 6 shadows in this palette, but no regrets here buying it. You know, because sometimes you wonder. And honestly, I buy so many Natasha Denona palettes that it's like, not all of them are gonna be a hit, right? I bought the Yucca palette recently and it's not really a favorite of mine. We'd be looking good so far though. Next up, we are swatching Silhouette. And this one is described as a matte coffee bean brown. Actually, I think that's how my sports bra is described, as coffee or coffee bean or something like that. So here is your kind of deeper matte brown. Honestly, again, I just don't feel like I need to even like build up this shadow at all. Beautiful. Let me get this on my eyes. I'm a little bit nervous to swatch such a deep brown with my finger. Sometimes I don't feel like I have the most control. But I'll start with my finger and then we'll move over to the brush. All right, so it's a little bit hard for me to do mattes with my fingers, so don't judge that one too much. So I'm gonna come in with my blending brush and apply that coffee bean. This is one that I would, like a shade like this is what I would put like on the outer part of my eye. I typically wouldn't come in with such a darker shade and just kind of boom all over right away. But again, just kind of gives you an idea. But I just still feel like it's blending so smoothly. Rephr makes great brushes also. But the matte shades are just so easy to work with. I mean, honestly, now that I have it all blended out, like I could rock this. Like put a little bit of Delilah on top of this one too. Heck yeah. Heck yeah, I could do that. Beautiful. Beautiful. Such a good matte formula. Next up, swatching Muse. This one is described as a sparkling foiled champagne. Again, just all of these words just like are getting me so excited. Oh my gosh, this feels really nice. Okay, so are you joking? Here's Muse. Oh my gosh, you've got to be kidding me. Beautiful, stunning. These two paired together also look. Okay, let's put it on the eyes, try to control myself here. Are you joking? This, man, that's beautiful. This is literally one, watch this. This is one swipe. One swipe. I have not built up this eyeshadow at all. What? It just gets more beautiful every time I do it. What else do you need? What else do you need? That's it. One time, one swipe, boom. You've got to be kidding me. This palette has me so stoked. Okay, we've made it to the point of the video where I'm trying to touch up my concealer and powder. So this is fun. I do have quite a bit of sparkles happening here, but you know, at least where I'm going to tonight is, I think, gonna be dark, so that's helpful. Next up, we have the shade Fair. Fair is described as a matte light misty rose. Oh, curious, because I looked at it, I wasn't thinking a rose shade. Okay, so this one is going to be pretty light. Let's see if I can build it up a little bit more. Okay, so this like really matches my skin tone. So we'll see if you can notice anything when I put it on my eyes. This is also going over the shade that had that dark brown. So again, just something to keep in mind as we keep going halfway through the palette. Actually, that showed up a little bit better than I thought that it was going to compared to my hand. So I'm gonna come in with the brush. This is a shade that often I would use, like when I do a particular matte eyeshadow look, I do like a mid-tone brown or like a taupe shade in my crease. I do something like Silhouette, the dark brown on the outer part. Then I would take a shade like Fair and I would hit it right in the center here to kind of brighten it up, and then do maybe like a wing. That's kind of something that I would use this shade for. Again, you could also use it if you say you went like a little bit too dark, you want to lighten it up. You could use a shade like this. Again, brow bone, inner corner, all of those things. This one's gonna be really similar to my skin tone, but gives you an idea of what Fair is. Next up, we are gonna swatch Filigree. And Filigree is described as a sparkling foiled medium neutral brown. I already know I'm excited to swatch this. Again, one swipe. One swipe. That's it. So next up, applying this to my eyes. Are you freaking joking? I don't know why I keep saying that. Like, are you joking? Where is this coming from? This is gonna be another one swipe shadow. I didn't add on anymore. One swipe in the palette. Literally stunning. This kind of like, to me, this leans a little bit more like bronzy. Gorgeous. Would just do this shadow by itself as well. Is this going to be my favorite eyeshadow palette of the year? Signs are pointing to yes. Next up, we are swatching the shade Wit. This is described as a matte light warm rose. We are getting into the final row of the palette. And here is a swatch of Wit. This to me is like more on the, how I would describe it as like a salmon side. But let me go ahead, my eyes. I'm like, do I really think I'm gonna be able to put together a cute eyeshadow look after this? It's gonna be a little bit of a struggle, but it's fine. Let me get through. Okay, so I have built up Wit, I would say like 2.5 times on my eyes here. Beautiful shade on its own. And let me add in a little bit with a brush. I do think it would be really great with this palette to also make it with a little bit more darker shades. Because I feel, you know, some of the comments I was reading was, you know, you don't know if the shades will be too light for your skin tone. And when she came out with the Glam Face and Eye palette and how there was 2 different options for that, I think it would be really great if there was another option in this one as well. But here is Wit, swatched on the eye. Beautiful, lovely matte shade. Great things. Next up, swatching Sheen. Sheen is described as a glossy, wet effect, warm champagne. Warm champagne? Do we want cold? Like, I feel like I would like my champagne cold, but you know what? I'm not a big champagne drinker. This feels unreal. Don't say, are you joking? This feels different from anything that I've swatched so far in this palette. This feels so soft and smooth. Somehow it feels like some sort of like fabric on my skin. What did Natasha put in this palette? Are you kidding? Are you kidding me? I am so curious to get this on my eyes. Oh my goodness. That is so interesting to me. So soft, so smooth. This is so gorgeous. Like how I would describe this is, yes, it's wet. Like this looks like a wet eyeshadow on my eyes. This is stunning. This is so stunning. My dog could not be snoring louder. Like she doesn't care at all. Gorgeous. So here is Sheen. Yes, it's gonna give you that beautiful wet sheen. That's what it's gonna do. Oh, like if I had to pick a favorite shade out of the palette, I don't know how I would choose, because so far I feel like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like I have 6 to 7 favorites so far. Okay, that's great. Next up, we are swatching a Tender. This is described as a matte medium taupe. Got excited again. Why do I love taupe shades so much? Like a dusty taupe, oh man, it just makes me so happy. So here is Tender. I'm gonna build this one up a little bit here. Right, so there is the matte Tender. I feel like I didn't do a good job wiping away this swatch. And then to apply that to my eye. It's interesting to me because I really wouldn't apply matte shadows with my fingers, so I don't know if I've ever tried that with Natasha's formula, and now I'm like, oh, I probably could. I probably could, and it would be fine. But again, also picking Tender up with a brush, and we're going to blend that out. Another stunning shade. Like, obviously the What Effect formula and those like foiled shadows are really stealing the show. But for me, I also love good matte shades, and obviously I've been raving about the formula. The next one is also going to be a matte shade, and this is in Mesh. But to me, I just feel like you need good mattes in a palette too. But I also, in the same vein, I don't love all matte palettes. Mesh is described as a matte light dusty rose. Hello. So this to me has been like such a perfect combination of these beautiful, easy to use, easy to blend matte shades. And then these just like over the top stunning shimmers. All right, so, okay baby girl. Hi. All right, so adding on Mesh. I feel like, again, this is gonna be a good one to show a little bit better with my brush, but here is 2 times with Mesh. And then using the brush to build that up and adding a little bit more here. Honestly, I realized as we've been going along, I kind of abandoned comparisons, but I don't know with those, I mean, I don't, like the wet shadows, I don't know, you don't usually get that type of reaction out of me when it comes to swatching eyeshadow shades, so there's that. But this one, I don't know, I feel like it was like slightly reminded me of the other one from the Mini Starlet, but not like, not too much. So this first shade in the Mini Starlet, no, I don't feel like they're super similar. So this is I Need a Nude and this is Mini Starlet. So yeah, I just, not a lot has really popped into my head for when it comes to the comparisons. But here is Mesh after adding on with a brush. These mattes, beautiful. And I just, to me, these are like essentials in a palette. And I feel like Natasha just took like my favorite matte shades and put them in here. Someone commented in my video where I was talking about how like, what would I even like present to Natasha? And I said I give her all of my ideas at girls' night. And someone said, yes, after 3 glasses of wine, I start spilling all my secrets to Natasha. She just has a notebook at the ready for whatever I'm gonna say. I see what you're doing, Natasha. I see what you're doing. And then for the final shade in the palette, we've made it to the end. This is Mia. This is a sparkling Wet Effect Icy Pink. Still to me, I feel like that Sheen shade like just felt the most different. Stunning. Stunning, Mia. Okay. Ooh-wee. Let's get this on the eyes and wrap up with final thoughts, even though I think you might be able to get the gist of what my final thoughts are. Ooh. Otherwise, I could just like literally swatch this eyeshadow and say bye. Like I think y'all are getting it. I think Mia, out of all of the other ones in this formula that I've tried, I feel like this one is the, like, I want to say the most muted, but like still in such a like beautiful, sparkly, shiny way. So here's Mia. Like I still don't awesome. Still don't feel like I need to even add on with a brush, but here is the shade Mia. After that, that is it. We did it. We made it through all 15 swatches in the I Need a Nude palette from Natasha Denona. Obviously, I think we've gathered that I'm loving this palette. I really enjoyed doing the video this way because it really was able to give me an idea of what the shades look like on my eyes, applying with my fingers, applying with the brushes. I mean, first impressions is pretty great. I'll say the metallic shades, I don't feel like those like wowed me as much as everything else in the palette, but the matte formula, absolutely love. The wet effect, the sparkling foiled, those I think are so beautiful. So I think we just had 2 metallics in here. Whisper was the only one that I kind of felt was really not like the most like but again, like I said, it's not a shade that I'm going to put all over my eyes. And again, maybe with like Fair, you know, maybe not the most exciting eyeshadow shade and might not be able to work across all skin tones. So if I'm just trying to be like extremely nitpicky with the palette, like those are the 2 shades that I'm like, oh, could take or leave. Everything else though, I think is so beautiful. And I think that I'll still end up using those shades as well. So out of all 15 shades, I will use all 15 on my eyes, and I think all of them are beautiful. This formula, and especially the new formulas in this palette, are absolutely killer. I feel like I now need to clean off my palette. I need to clean up my face and try to make myself look presentable for tonight. I'll definitely be doing some more looks with the palette, either in long form videos like get ready with me's, or I'll do some short form videos as well, because there are so many looks that I want to do with this palette. Again, I will have it linked down below. My discount code is Samantha if you're interested in picking it up. I would love to know if you did grab it. I would highly recommend it. I really hope that you found this video helpful, seeing all of the swatches. I hope that was helpful for you in deciding if this is the palette that you want or not. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one.